It's Andrew Sercombe here from Power Change, and I just want to promote today a worksheet called the Relationship Repair Kit, which is an amazing piece of equipment for you. You're going to absolutely love it. It's amazing because I know exactly how many lives it has changed over the years, literally thousands. So just bear that in mind as I talk to you today. I'm just going to show you a little bit about it and lead you through the whole thing. This sheet has come out of many conversations with people, both friends. It sparked off a book that I read years ago about forgiving people, and forgiving and letting go was the phrase. A book by I can't remember the man's name. But this is the sheet that we have developed out of it. It's called the Relationship Repair Kit. And although it's just seems to be just one sheet of paper here, it's actually far more than that, because as always, words change lives. And these words will profoundly change the lives of anybody who's watching at any time. So I'm going to lead you through this sheet for the moment. I won't give you all the details, obviously, because it's up to you to download it and to use it for yourself. And of course, once you've printed it off, you can use it as many times as you want once you've got the PDF, so that's great. And it starts with simply sitting down with a client and asking them to write down the names of anyone and everyone who they think owes them an apology. Yeah, I know. And the magic word there, of course, is owes them an apology. In other words, somebody's done something to hurt them. It may be a very big thing. It may be something that goes way back into their background. It may be a parent or a teacher or somebody like that. Or it may be somebody really quite trivial, somebody, a shop assistant today who really annoyed them and got under their skin and said some rude things, or somebody on the train or something like that. So, and it's called a repair kit because inside your head, it starts to change you. And of course, the only reason, or the first reason at least, that we invite people to get involved in the relationship repair kit is because the person themselves needs it. So this is, first of all, a relationship repair kit with the client themselves, making sure that they're comfortable inside their own skin. It's based around forgiving and apologizing, with a little bit of analysis in the first place. And the analysis is down here, and you'll be able to see it down here. And it says, and let me read it to you, write down the names of anyone who you think owes you an apology for something they have done or said that has damaged you in some way. You would not believe how long that list can be for people. You'll see that there's a very small little space here. But actually, sometimes I've sat down with a client and given them an A4 sheet of paper, and they have filled it with people who have hurt them and damaged them over the years. Yeah, pretty serious, really. And so they live carrying this burden of damage year in, year out, getting more and more hurt, more and more bitter, more and more frustrated, simply because they have not repaired the damage, first of all, inside them. And of course, a relationship repair kit isn't just about inside you. It's about building relationships and making sure that your partner and you are happy, your children and you are happy, your work colleague and you are happy. And that's part of the relationship repair kit. And it's based around 4 or 5 simple little stages. And you'll see from here and on the inside too, simple little stages of how to forgive somebody properly. For me personally, having spent most of my life working with people, it's the unforgiveness that does the damage. It's that refusal to forgive somebody. And the reason people refuse to forgive somebody is they think if they forgive them, they are going to be let off. And of course, we're not talking about somebody not being punished in some way for what they've done. We're talking about the damage that occurs in the person who is not doing the forgiving. And of course, if that's you or your client or whoever it happens to be, they are being damaged by not forgiving. The person who first benefits from forgiving somebody is the person who does the forgiving. We use this illustration of a rope, a tug of war rope. You may not be familiar with a tug of war, but in the old days, they used to have them at village fetes and festivals and things like that. And they'd have teams of 4 or 5 people on one end of a piece of rope, and then 4 and 5 people on the other end of the piece of rope. And they would say, ready, steady, pull. And they would pull and pull and pull and pull and pull and pull and pull. Somebody won. And the rope was all pulled over to one side and the other group fell over and everybody laughed. But that's what it's like when you are holding something against another person because they have done something wrong. So what happens is this tension builds up and there's pulling and there's fight and there's battle. And of course, the person who it hurts the most is the person who is on the end of the rope. And people think, I've got to win. No, you haven't. Do you know the best thing you can possibly do is let go of the rope and walk away. Let go of the rope and walk away. Andrew, well, this is all about repairing damage, not just walking away, but making sure or doing your best to make sure that the relationship that's been damaged is repaired. And you know, the funny thing is, you don't have to do it just for people who are alive. And you certainly don't do it face to face. You don't go up to your person and say, right, I'm just going to tell you, I'm forgiving you for that terrible thing you did to me. That's not going to work, is it? It's going to damage the relationship even more because that person is going to say, what do you mean I did? And so it goes on. Forgiving and letting go is an amazing thing. You forgive and you let go. And this is all about forgiving and letting go. The first thing we go through is owning the rubbish, which is actually saying, right, who has got the problem here? Well, of course, it's not the person who has offended you. It's you that's got the problem. You're the one that's been damaged. You're the one who needs to do the forgiving. And inside, there's a little story explaining just how you do that. And there's a series of little questions that help you. And then we move on to the forgiving process. And the forgiving process has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clear sections, from assigning responsibility, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way through to ending well with all the forgiving done. So A, B, C, D, E, actually. And the ending well, how to do that. And we've got some clear and clever ways of doing that. Now, I do have to say to you that this leaflet is ideally help to sort people out when you're coaching them. So this isn't just a matter of shoving a leaflet in somebody's hand or even you downloading it and say, oh, I'll get on with that. No. It's about helping your client to go through that process of forgiving. And the word forgive, of course, is in the secret. It's the secret. It's hidden in there. It means for, in advance, to give. In other words, forgiveness is about paying somebody's debt to you. They owe you an apology. They owe you something. They owe you compensation for damaging you. They owe you. And forgiving is you paying their debt for them because they haven't done it. So you pay their debt to you. It's a bit like having 2 bank accounts and somebody owes you $1,000. So you say, right, that person owes me $1,000, but you want to let them off. You want to be forgiven because they're not going to pay the $1,000 and you are determined to get that $1,000 and it gets all, and you don't sleep at night and everything. You're miserable with your friends, you're bitter inside, you can't talk to that person, you don't like anybody who's like them or comes from their company, and so it goes on. But forgiving is inside your head, inside your life. It's almost like moving money from your savings account to your current account with their name on it. So you have paid their debt. And I'll tell you, it is transformational. Now, I can imagine you listening to me now and saying, Andrew, that is just it's a very clever thing, but you can't just do that. And well, you can. And you probably will need to have a conversation with me about it, or somebody who knows about forgiving, so that you can do this. But this leaflet covers not just the forgiving process, but actually the apologizing process. In the same way as forgiving is never ever done face to face with the person, I'm forgiving you, okay? Apologizing needs to be done to the person face to face, or at least in a letter. So apologizing is another process altogether, and it's explained quite simply down here. What happens with forgiving and apologizing is it takes the sting out, it takes the debt, and it enables you to start from a clean sheet of paper to rebuild that relationship with that person. I've done this hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, both with myself and with my clients. And I absolutely recommend it to you. It is transformational. I've just remembered the person whose book you need to download, and that is a chap called Joff Day, Joffday, Joff Day. Joff is his first name, Day is his family name, Joff Day. And he's written a book called Forgive and Let Go, I think it is. But look it up on Google or something and you'll find it there. Very, very good book. And I asked him if I could use some of his material and some of the stuff that I've done with this as well. So here you go. Here it is, the leaflet, the relationship repair kit. It's a simple little one. Of course, the best value is to buy, one of Trainer's Box's little kits of all sorts of little leaflets here, trainersbox.net. And you find marriages that are repaired, partnerships that are repaired, relationships with children that are repaired, simply because somebody had the humility and the courage to forgive and let go. The reason you apologize, by the way, is quite simple. It's very much easier to forgive somebody who has apologized. It's not dependent on it, because if you wait until somebody apologizes, you are surrendering control of forgiving them. You're saying, I'm not going to do this till you've done that. And they may be never going to do that, and they may be dead. Because you can forgive people who are dead. That's another very exciting thing. So once you've done all this, let it go. It's all in here. And if you get stuck, there's always my contact details that you can get back to me on. And I'll give you at least 20 minutes just to help you if I'm available and free to do that. And give your clients something really useful that will change them. See you next time.